With so much bad going on these days in the world, we decided to do something really conversational, sort of in the real theme of how this website, how this podcast, how this YouTube channel is supposed to be. Just talking about things that are fun to talk about and to get away from dying politicians and that other guy in charge of things messing things up and, oh, the wars and the money and all those things that are not so great. Let's talk about something that's fun for the summertime. That is grilling. Grilling is something that is a tradition, I guess, 365 days a year based on where you are, but especially in the summer where you have your summer cookouts and all the big fun that comes along with it. We had Memorial Day, we had Juneteenth, we had the 4th of July, and we have coming up on a Labor Day to wrap things up going forward. So let's talk about which states are the love of grilling is the most in, and that's not grammatically correct, but hey, I just said it. What states do you love more grilling the most? This new survey reveals that America's barbecue champions across the states and which ones may be more make sense of it, if that is also not grammatically correct, and which states kind of surprise you by not grilling very much at all. So let's get into this right now. Very fun survey, very fun talk for us to do today. Now, the survey went over 100 Americans and found that grilling remains one of the country's favorite summer traditions just in general. Some states actually embrace the actual act of sitting over hot coals or propane gas and flipping meat than others. And according to this research, residents of Wyoming are the tops, and they grill an average of 17 days each year. That's total, making them the nation's most frequent grillers, about 4 days above the national average. The study was commissioned by Perdue and conducted by Talker Research for National Grilling Month, Perdue being the folks that produce chicken, so chicken is very heavily covered in this survey, and Talker's Research is the people who give you these types of research things when you run out of things on a slow news day. It highlights how deeply grilling is woven into the American culture. But that doesn't tell the full story. How do you call people from Wyoming? Wyomingings? Wyomers? Well, they may grill more than the average, but they're not the state that necessarily grills the most. Per this chart right here, several other states actually have higher percentages of people who identify as regular grillers, including Oregon, Michigan, and New Hampshire. Oddly enough, they are at 61%, 59%, and 58% regardless, or respectively. That's the right word there. You would think, because I'm a proud Southerner, it'd be us down here in the South, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, those folks throwing stuff on the grill and making things happen. But no, apparently it's folks in the Northwest or in the Midwest, if you will, making things happen, and the shires of Hampshire, which people tend to do. I think the survey might be a bit skewered, but hey, your mileage may vary. We do know that the states at the bottom of the list of 50 of them are Hawaii, Mississippi, and Vermont, 31%, 24%, and 24% respectively. Hawaii, well, you think of a big pig in the middle of a coals buried in the ground, so maybe that doesn't count as grilling. Mississippi, you'd think they'd be grilling all sorts of things out there, but apparently not. Vermont as well. Although 24% call themselves grillers is not necessarily a bad thing. May have something to do with the geography that's going on there. Now, here's the thing. More than half of Americans, nearly half of Americans, poorly spoken there, about 40% said that food itself is what brings people to the cookout. It might be some of the parties, might do an electric slide, it might be hanging out with that favorite uncle in his Crown Royal gear. That's always fun as well. But essentially, music, conversation, and being outdoors is great. But it's got to be good food coming out there. So if you're not grilling up something great at the cookout, you probably are having a smaller cookout than other folks. And despite that enthusiasm and the lifestyles that we have, backyard barbecue remains one of America's favorite social gatherings right now, even though it's a bit intimidating. Nearly half respondents also said, at 49%, that grilling is intimidating, especially putting chicken on the grill. Chicken makes people nervous at home cooks. 1/3 saying it's a meat they least confident about preparing on an open flame. Remember, this is produced by Perdue, or at least sanctioned by Perdue, or paid for by Perdue. I'm not sure they sanction the fact that they're going to kind of beat down chicken, but it is what's going on, and you can think about it yourself. Most things, you think of large barbecues, you have everything from burgers to hot dogs to ribs to maybe even some fish. Chicken is something that people apparently are not that happy with getting down with on their grills these days. So you can take that in stride as well. The survey found that it wasn't so much chicken itself, but whole chicken in particular, that was the most difficult to put on the grill. About 27% of the people in the survey say a whole chicken is the hardest item to cook. I will attest that it is a hard thing to cook and do properly. 21% believe it is the riskiest because if you mess it up, you ain't got nothing left. 49% though have never attempted to grill one. So you don't really know how well you can do it until you try it because they're scared of it. It's there. And about a third have avoided grilling chicken breasts, thighs, or wings as well. But it's the whole bird that is the actual hold up to people and chicken on their grills. So that is something that is pretty interesting. Like I said, this is something that was commissioned by the Perdue people. So they wanted more information about chicken, and they got more than they expected. Now, many Americans stick with familiar favorites. About 6 in 10, 57% or so by numbers, admitted they do hot dogs. They do hamburgers because they are pretty confident on their grilling skills for those. Not complicated. Hot dogs are already cooked, basically. You're just waiting for them to get burnt. And for your hamburgers, they go from red to brownish. And if you really, really like me and need them to be really, really dead, red to brownish to almost blackish like a charred hockey puck. That's what I do. I'm sorry. But that's how people are doing their grilling. More people will grill than they say to do, but more people will do something simpler as opposed to something more complicated. And as we said, the chicken, all the chicken people pay for the survey, is the thing people are trying to avoid throwing onto the grill at all. Now, the survey also has the horror stories where we all are that person. We all are that same guy or gal who's had some issues working over the coals or the gas, if you will, where 41% have dropped some food through the grates that have gone to the grill gods to hopefully make the rest of the meal much better. 25% have run out of propane mid-cook. Done that. 25% have burned the outside of meat while leaving the inside undercooked. I won't say I'm a better cook than that, so I've never really done anything like that one, but I've had the first two mishaps happen on me. And despite the experiences of these things, 84% said they would grill more often if they had more opportunities. The biggest thing that keeps people from hitting the grill are weather and limited outdoor space, the biggest barriers. Right now in our space, we're lacking a space because after the tornado hit and ripped up the shade and various pieces of stuff and replacing all the things, we don't have the furniture, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the lighting and things that we had pre-hurricane to do the outdoor stuff. Weather is got an issue as well because we have no trees, we have no shade. It gets really, really hot in the backyard in Arkansas. That is a big deal for people trying to get the cook done outside. Our responders also had their etiquette, unspoken rules of the grill, the backyard, while you're doing things, because the chef runs the show, even though we are just babysitting fire and meat. But these are the things that you don't do when you're out there working the grill. Number one, you don't touch another person's grill without permission. 32% have that listed. Just like you don't touch the guy's radio, things like that. If the man is running the grill and you see something out there, you want to just kind of play with the meat, don't do it. You'll get hurt. You always let the meat rest before serving. 31% have that rule where it's just how you cook essentially, especially if you're cooking things like beef, like a steak or burgers. You take some time, take them off the grill, let it come back to a normal life, and then you serve it going forward. Same for your chicken and your pork as well. So maybe that's why people have an issue with chicken. They're eating too fast. Don't keep lifting the lid. 30% have that listed on where once you have something that is in its grilling mode, in its baking mode, if you have something that's closed down, let it get the full flavor. Let it get the full cook. It's just like an oven. If you open an oven every 5 minutes, you'll never get the baking done. And going along with touching another person's grill is backseat grilling. When someone's back there saying, you're letting that char a little bit, like what you got in that sauce there? Are you really going to spray that every single time? Yeah, it's more than being rude. It's stepping out of bounds in grill etiquette. And of course, never smash burgers with the spatula, 22%. However, if you're making smash burgers, then you kind of have to smash the burger with the spatula. It is what it is. But that's not grilling. That's using a outdoor tool. That's not the grill. That's a griddling. So if you're using griddle, smash away. If you're just using a grill, know what you're doing. Because this is the Conversation Project, we have pros and cons. So, pros and cons of American grilling culture. It brings family and friends together during the summer. Many Americans believe grilled food tastes better than other cooking methods. A lot of people have that thought. And it encourages outdoor entertaining and cooking skills, both of which take a little extra practice, so you have to do it a lot more. Meanwhile, nearly half Americans lack the confidence in the grill, as per this survey, which was sanctioned by the chicken people, who find that people don't want to put chicken on their grills. Not good for the chicken people, i.e., chicken remains intimidating for many home cooks. So says the survey that was paid for and sanctioned by the chicken people. And common mistakes can lead to wasted food or undercooked meals, which all goes to the fact that if you do not succeed the first time, grill again. Keep grilling. Grill when nobody's around. Grill when it's hot. Grill when it's cold. Grill when it's rain. You need the practice. It's all about practice. It's all about practice. This is one that I would tell you we should be talking about practice. Practice on that grill. Get that food nice and good, nice and hot, nice and well. Take good care of it because it's all about good grilling and practice. Now, the survey paints a picture of a country that loves its tradition of grilling, but still learning the craft. We're only 250 years old now. We do have the long standing of grilling very poor meats over a fire like they do in England or France or maybe in Belgium. But, we got better seasoning. We've got ranch dressing, by the way. Whether you're grilling a powerhouse like the Wyoming sings, or one of the states where cookouts are less common, like Hawaii, but hey, they got those pigs in the ground. They're pretty good themselves. The research suggests that Americans are eager to fire up the grill as long as no one opens the lid, remember, or touches the grillmaster's tongs without permissions, because them's are grilling fouls. What do you think? How is your grilling technique? How is your grilling stature? Do you own a grill? Are you someplace where it's a little harder to grill, like an apartment complex or a really tight city complex where everyone is there? Or do you have nice wide open spaces and you overdid it for the outside kitchen? We're working on that here to try to do that thing here. Tell me about your grilling skills. Tell me about your grilling times. Tell me about your grills as well. And if not, tell us about the best parties you have, the best grilling parties you've been to in this summer.